Welcome along to Ballinacourty here on WLR. Thomas McCarthy back in the hot seat, and thanks so much to Gavin Whelan for filling in last week. We'll have a selection of football, camogie and hurling over the next hour. The wait is over. Rathgormack and Ballinacourty will meet in the 2020 county final on Saturday. The thoughts of former Waterford boss Benji Whelan on the way. We meet again. Waterford and Tipperary will renew their rivalry in the All-Ireland Camogie quarter-finals on Saturday. We'll hear from Waterford midfielder Shona Curran. And Munster's ball. Derek McGrath will preview Sunday's All-Ireland hurling final between Limerick and Cork.
Gets the ball in there, they're on the run here now. Good chance here for James Power, one of the younger members of the team. What option has he inside to Stephen Curry? Takes a shot, back in the net, Stephen Curry. Brilliant run by James Power. He set it up, and the man who finished it was Stephen Curry. All too easy, straight down the middle. Too easy for Rathgormack. We're even, Stevens, 1-8 to 1-8. Mark Fern goes for another one. Has he the distance? Yes, he has. Thought he wouldn't make it, but it did. Just scrapes over the bar. But every point scores, and that's a super score by
outstanding score. I think Mark
outside his range, literally.
Yeah, the wind actually caught it and gave it that extra 5 yards. But great play from Mark. He looks on top of his game there today.
So the long-awaited county senior football final between Ballinacourty and Rathgormack will throw in on Saturday at 5 o'clock in Welsh Park. Only 500 fans permitted, but you can catch all the action live here on WLR. It will be our George Corbett Skoda big match with Kieran O'Connor and Michelle Ryan on commentary duty from 4:45. Well, who better to preview Saturday's final than the man who guided Denier to 2 county titles? That's former Dish football boss Benji Whelan. Benji, first of all, it's 11 long months since these teams were in championship action. How challenging is that from a management point of view heading into this county final?
Yeah, it's extremely challenging, Tomas. Both teams would have been geared up for that game on the 10th of October last year, and to have what happened happen was very difficult for both camps. I'm sure they really wanted to get the grips of that, because both of them were coming into them in great form, obviously with the wins under their belt. That said, this Rathgormack outfit will be eager to push home the advantage that they see is on their side at this point, being champions. They're on the crest of a wave at the moment. They see it as their opportunity to absolutely dominate football for a while in our county. And likewise, the feeling on the ground in the West is that there's a little bit of a breath of fresh air in Ballinacourty, and I think it really looks to me like it could be a cracker of a contest. Back in October, I would have been saying, look, it'll be very, very difficult for Ballinacourty. They have a lot to do to answer the questions that Rathgormack are going to pose them. But I really feel that this is in the balance now, coming into this particular game. Like there are questions going to be asked for both sides. That said, I see a game of we'll say some errors, and whoever can capitalise on those errors on the day, because there will be a lot of ironing out of errors done in previous challenge matches and in the league campaigns that they've played. It really depends on who has tightened up those things better, and it could come down to 1 or 2 scores, I really think.
Yeah, you mentioned the optimism in the West, Benji, and probably the cause for that optimism is the fact that Ballinacourty will have Conor Prunty, Neil Montgomery, Sean Whelan Barrett, all back from injury, who weren't going to be available for the original fixture back in the 10th of October. How much of a difference would that make, do you think?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, these guys have a wealth of experience from being involved in different county squads, playing at a higher level, and to bring that back to a club who, to be fair, have underachieved in the last number of years, and really will be saying that we should be winning these titles, every so often, and they haven't been. But I think they've got a leadership there now of real quality football guys who are really eager to drive home what they have and the talent that's at their disposal, and that's massive for the club. I mean, the 3 guys you mentioned are key leaders within the group as well, and they'll be eager to prove that point, I'm sure.
Looking to the other side, to Rathgormack, they were the form team heading into that original fixture, Benji, 4 wins out of 4 double-figure wins, as a matter of fact. Why have they been so hard to beat over the past 2 seasons in Waterford?
Well, one of the simple reasons is fitness. I think, and it's something like I suppose I would look out for. But they have brought it to another level. I mean, I can think back of one other difference maker from that point of view was a Kilrosny team 2 or 3 years ago. There, maybe a bit more than that now, where they came through and they were absolutely flying fit, and it just showed in the last 15 minutes of a game when it's up for grabs. And this Rathgormack team has proven that as well. I think it's a credit to the guys that are involved up there. The players are driving it on themselves. Ger Welch or Ger Power as well, absolutely driving it on, and they know what they need to do in order to get the best out of these guys, and they've done that. I think, look, I'm not dispensing with the quality of football that they have as well. I mean, they've got some really fantastic players, real standout footballers, and these guys have played and are playing at the top level. I mean, you only have to go back through the county squads to know the number that have been involved, and all merited their places. Absolutely did. So, that's an advantage that they will feel that they have to push home now against this Ballinacourty outfit.
And one of those fantastic footballers that unfortunately won't be at their disposal, Benji, is Tom Welch, who's ruled out with a cruciate knee ligament injury. How big a blow is that to Rathgormack?
Well, like Tom, even though he's only a young man, has been a steadying influence on them. I mean, they've lined him out at centre back, but I've seen him kind of drift back into the full back line and dominate. And that's no easy task at this level. But he's a mountain of a man as well, and he's a big, strong athlete. And I had him inside in the our squad there for the last campaign. There probably only about 4 or 5 months of time, but he impressed me no end with what he could do. And look, he's going to go on to bigger and better things, I'm sure, like in the years ahead. But not to have him now is just it's a bit of a gap that they need to fill, and they need to fill it with a bit of quality too. Look, I'm sure they have what's required at their disposal, but it will pose a little bit of a problem for them. There's no doubt about that.
Where will the key battles play out on Saturday in your view, Benji?
I think the inside lines, it always comes down to that, and I think of Stephen Curry. When I think of that, he's got a footballing brain and just that opportunity to throw that ball left and right and absolutely suck you in. So I mean, if Ballinacourty managed to nail him, they'll have done a lot of work, I think. But this is the stage where Stephen really, really shines. I suppose, like I'm thinking back to previous games, and I know again it was 10 or 11 months ago, but like Mark Ferncombe is a match winner as well, and I'm thinking back at that point I think he got against Denier. I mean, I can't remember another point like that. He was outside the 45 kicking it, and it just went over like a bomb. It was absolute cracker of a score. And if Mark is on form, he's going to be very, very difficult to stop as well. So they'll have the work cut out. Like that's where I feel I think things could break fairly even around the middle because there's quality guys around that area. And the transitional ball, I mean, Ballinacourty will be well aware of the speed that Rathgormack can move that ball and their kicking prowess. So they'll be watching for that ball moving through the middle third very, very quickly, and they'll be making sure that they have cover in place. But I do feel that whoever has the winnings inside the 21 will win this game. And look, it sounds very simple to say that, but it really does come down for me on who can perhaps get a goal or two. I think that's going to be the difference.
After weighing it all up, Benji, will it be back-to-back titles for Rathgormack or a first since 2013 for Ballinacourty?
I have a sneaking suspicion for Ballinacourty. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling, and it's not based on anything else per se. I haven't seen any of these two teams perform, but I just feel the positivity around this Ballinacourty outfit could be something that could get them over the line.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're in for a cracker. Rathgormack versus Ballinacourty, Saturday evening, 5 o'clock in Welsh Park, and you can hear all the action here on WLR. It'll be our George Corbett Skoda, a big match. One more issue I want to touch on, Benji, before you go. We had Jason Ryan on Lorna Parker here earlier on in the year talking about the restructuring of the Waterford Academy teams, formerly known as the development squads, and you've been appointed as supervisor to the football squads. Can you explain what that role involves?
Yeah, so first of all, look, I was delighted to be approached to get involved in this, and it's something that, I suppose we as football people would know that it's not before time that we tried to rejuvenate the structures and actually reinvigorate the thing. So my role is I suppose basically quality control from the point of view of the coaching. Now I have been involved to a lesser degree than the other committee members in actually I suppose, the structures and the whole makeup of the way the structure was going to work. But as of now, my role is just, I suppose, communicating with the management groups for the 14s, 15s and 16s, and just trying to, I suppose, improve what they do with the kids and actually help them from a day-to-day point of view with the coaching and with the methods that they're using. So at the moment we're in a situation where, you know, they're working away, and, you know, there'll be a review at the end of the year and we'll have a look and sit down. But ultimately, I suppose, from a football point of view, like, what we really need to do is we need to improve the coaching as per se across the county, in the clubs on a county basis. That's what needs to happen, and it needs to happen even at a younger age group than the development schools. And that's what we're working at the moment. And just to mention, at the moment there's a talent identification programme going on in Carriganore and elsewhere, on a Saturday morning for the under 14 hurling, and that's going to be replicated in the next few weeks for football. So, you know, what I'm asking for now is I'm asking for football, people who are interested in football to come forward, to put their name forward and actually, you know, put their hand up and say, look, I'll give a hand with this. Because what we want is we want people who can come in there and, you know, identify the skills that we need, identify the talent from that point of view, and give us a hand to actually drive this on. Part of the process is actually bringing in the obviously the right talent from the point of view of the boys, but the most important thing is getting the right people on board who are going to drive this project on to the next level and improve the coaching across the board. Yeah,
do you believe that the quality of people is out there, Benji, both in terms of coaches and players to raise the standard of Waterford football over the next couple of years?
I think so. I mean, like, we're exactly the same as any other county, Tomas. You know, from the point of view, we have young boys who want to play football. And we have young boys who want to play hurling as well, and we have interested parents, and we have interested coaches, and we have dedicated people. We just need to open our minds to learning new methods and actually applying those methods to our coaching, and making sure that it's very enjoyable for these kids, and that they want to come back and compete again and again. And look, there are fantastic people involved in this committee with great ideas and open ears, you know, and we're interested in people bringing forward those ideas to us so that we can develop them and, you know, improve everybody across the way. Everybody involved in this process is learning, and, you know, it's going to be a learning curve. But over the course of 2 or 3 or 4 years, I mean, we hope to be at a situation where we have something that's really working really well.
So you're giving an open invitation to people, Benji, whoever's interested in getting involved on the coaching side in terms of the Waterford underage squads, that they can put their name forward and get involved.
Absolutely, Tomas. I mean, these are the people we need. We need passionate, enthusiastic people, like I say, who are prepared to learn, who are prepared to try new things, and understand, you know, how important this is to the people of Waterford.
Well, former Waterford football boss Benji Whelan, thanks so much for your time this evening, and enjoy the game on Saturday.
Thanks, Tomas. Great to talk to you again.
Lorna Porca with Tomas McCarthy on WLR.
Well, this week at Welsh Park, Waterford GAA hosted a special cool camp for children with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. It's the very first camp of its kind, and Gavin Whelan went along to Welsh Park and asked coaching officer Owen Morrissey about how it all came about.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Gavin. This is the last week of camps in Waterford GAA. Over 5,000 children have attended cool camps this year, which is amazing, especially in the middle of a pandemic with COVID-19, which we all know about. And, you know, we've had a massive turnout for camps right across the county. I suppose a number of months ago, we had a few discussions with WASA and with Sports Active in our sports partnership in Waterford, who were interested in maybe looking at us running a camp for children with additional needs. So I suppose I used to work in Wexford GAA, and it was done down there. And so I looked into it a bit and spoke to different people who ran them before, and we felt this was the time to do it. We ran it to put on the last week of camps in the summer, specifically for children with additional needs, many who may not have the opportunity to participate in the other cool camps that will be going on throughout the county. So it's been fantastic so far this week already. We've had great turnout. I'd say if we were able to run another one, we'd have more children would participate in it. So it's definitely something we're looking at doing more often in the future, not just in the summer, maybe at different periods throughout the course of the year.
We love Waterford. We are WLR.
Sad to learn this week of the passing of Paddy Coyne from Abbeyside. Paddy was a long-serving member of the Fairfield Committee and always a very welcoming face on the gate in Dungarvan. So we'd like to extend our sympathies to the family and friends of the late Paddy Coyne.
We are blue and white. We are WLR.